What up? What up? What up? Let me see right here on this refresh real quick. Oh, nothing yet. What's going on here? Here we go. Boom. All right. Get this here. Give the folks an opportunity to pile in. Oh shit, we got sound, it sounds like.
Sounding, bro.
There we go. You know, if you were with us earlier, then you realize we had a little bit of technical difficulties. We thought we were ready, but we weren't ready
We weren't ready.
quite yet.
I will say this: we got an opportunity to watch my brother take care of his boyfriendy duties.
Hey,
You know what I mean? Out here changing tires and shit. That happened literally when our sound went out. So when our sound went out, he went and took care of that. You know what I mean? I assisted as a supervisor. You know what I mean? In my supervisory duties.
don't ask much from me after that. That's about all I got. I don't consider myself car savvy whatsoever. So outside of a tire change and maybe a jump, and even then, I don't like the way them shits. I don't like that shit. So keep the fucking requests to a minimum.
Yeah,
In terms of fucking cars. I know how to take a tire to discount and get it patched up by those fine gentlemen over there, and that's about it. But
So I was there in
anyways,
my supervisory role. You know what I mean?
yeah, I appreciate you. Definitely moral support went a long way.
Absolutely, bro. I do my best.
Well, folks, with all that, welcome back to another episode of Bros Talk MMA. I'm your host, Utica, undeniably the illest cat around, aka Mr. Make This Pick Real Quick. I'm here with my bro host extraordinaire.
You know this is RayBuck. It's Chaco Jordan. It is Mr. Whip That Ass. Smack them cheeks. Make motherfuckers meet the feet.
Yeah,
I mean, they caught all the feet.
UFC
11-2, buddy.
UFC 316 was a good one to you, bro. I mean, I did well, but nowhere near as well as you. You got us on the map. You got us featured on the tracker. I appreciate you.
I do what I can, brother.
Much love. I'm going to beat your ass this weekend just only off of the main event alone. But
See how long that shit lasts?
we'll see. But anyways, folks, we're here to cover this weekend's Fight Night card taking place in Atlanta, Georgia. It's going to be headlined by a welterweight fight between Kamaru Usman going up against Joaquin Buckley. We also have a co-headliner in the women's flyweight division. We got Rose Namajunas going up against Miranda Maverick.
Which, let me go ahead and explain something really fast about that, which maybe you might not even remember or know.
What's up? What's up?
That's a Colorado on Colorado card.
Ooh.
Or
Colorado on Colorado crime.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
I think it's, I don't know. I think it's Arvada and something else. It's not like really Denver, but
Colorado.
It's Colorado. We ain't talking about like their suburban areas.
Yeah. So yeah, we got that in the women's flyweight division. It's a 13-fight card overall. So we're going to start things off in the women's flyweight division. We got Vanessa Demopoulos going up against Jaime Lynn Horth. We got Demopoulos coming in 5-4 in the UFC, 11-7 overall, and 2-3 in their last 5 fights. We got Lynn Horth coming in. They are 2-2 in the UFC, 7-2 overall, and 3-2 in their last 5 fights. I'm going to be going with Horth in this one by either decision or KO. They're going to be the taller and longer of the two. They're going to have the edge in the grappling, I believe. Not necessarily from like a submission standpoint, but just more so from a control, gaining top position, and just kind of like ground and pound from there, or just control over the course of 15 minutes. They're not like the greatest, but they definitely fucking are way taller and longer than Demopoulos is. And, Demopoulos, she's scrappy. she has hands, but she's kind of just like a competitive fighter. She's not a killer. So there's not a lot she does that's threatening unless she's given the opportunity. She's gonna be the slightly older of the two by a year. Like I said, way smaller, in terms of stature and reach. She might, like I say, have the edge in the striking, but she's gonna want to fight a point fight, keep this at distance, and not let Horth get a hold of her whatsoever. But it's gonna be mostly just a bunch of pop shotting, a lot of heh, 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 and it is what it is. So all in all, I got to go with Horth in this one.
I've got to agree with the Horth pick. She's gonna demo Vanessa
Demopoulos.
Anyway, that being said, I just truly I believe it's the heart of Jamie Lynn Horth over Vanessa Demopoulos. For me, in my opinion, Jamie Lynn Horth, this is her first job. Vanessa Demopoulos, this is her second job. Her first job is the creator, content creator. Um, you know what I mean? Instagram model, that sort of thing. Um, and she's great at it. And this is also a great avenue to get her to that. But Jamie Lynn Horth, I think, takes this a lot more serious. I don't think she's the most, you know what I mean, skilled fighter in the world, but the heart is there, and that's what's going to win this fight. And that's why I've got to go with Jamie Lynn Horth in this particular bout.
Definitely. Moving on to a men's welterweight matchup, we have Phil Rowe going up against Ange Losa. We got Rowe coming in. They are 3-3 in the UFC. 3-3 in the UFC, 10-5 overall, and 3-2 in their last 5 fights. We got Losa coming in. They are 2-2 with 1 no contest in the UFC, 10-4 with that 1 no contest overall, and 2-2 with that 1 no contest in their last 5 fights. I'm gonna be going with Losa in this one by either decision or KO. They're definitely gonna be the smaller of the two. But I believe that they'll be a little more well-rounded. They have power in the hands, and some good wrestling. Like to control their opponents as well. Nothing really from like a submission standpoint, but more so just from finding control in either getting you up against the cage or on the ground, finding that top position, and like I said, maintaining control or eventually ground and pounding you out. Rowe is going to be the older of the two by 3 years, taller and longer in stature and reach, and definitely should have the edge in terms of if their game plan is point striking. If they're able to keep this at distance and, a Losa, keep them from getting in close or a hold of them, then they'll definitely have the edge in, point striking and just being able to, piece Losa up over the course of 3 rounds. But really nothing too threatening coming from Rowe. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, he can TKO you, if you give him the submission, then he'll take it. But like, he's definitely just like a competitive point type fighter. And if he's able to keep Losa on the outside, then good for him. But I feel like Losa is going to be just a little bit. Seeing them at the weigh-in, he definitely is smaller than Rowe, but he'll have that low center of gravity, and possibly we see some flashes of Marab out of fucking Losa in this one. I doubt it, but that's what I'm looking at this bout, and I'll be going with Losa.
Nice,
Shouts out to
my
Darren
boy.
in the chat.
Absolutely. Of course you gotta go with Losa. Like Losa's just a smarter, or not this. He's got the higher fight IQ. He has the more experience in the UFC over Phil Rowe, even though that their records are very similar. Neither one of them, in my opinion, are super exciting fighters. But I do believe that Ange Losa has the better fight IQ. Again, having been in the UFC a little bit longer, knowing what it takes, you know what I mean, to get the dub. And I think, you know what I mean, there was 2 of his fights, in my opinion, that were a little suspect. I think one of them was a splitty, one of them might have been a unanimous, but he should have probably won both of them, in my opinion. Um, so Losa's not a bad fighter. Losa's a better fighter than his record, in my opinion. Exciting, not really. Technical, absolutely. And more routes to victory, absolutely. So Losa has to be my pick over Phil Rowe. Phil Rowe does have striking, but not uh, disgusting striking, not scary striking, not Alex Pieta striking. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's
yeah.
just better than Angelosa.
Yeah, I mean, Darren said, this is a bad one to bet on. It could really go either way. And, like, to be honest, out of all these fights, this was the one I had the most trouble with because, to be honest, one of my least favorite things to make picks on is, like, fights that involve two dudes that really ain't all that, great. So then it's really hard to really see who gains the advantage over who because I can literally see a world where either one loses and how they lose, and then a world where I can see how either one wins and how they win. But the way they win or them winning in general isn't as convincing as how I could see them fucking lose.
And I'll tell you this: this is why this is a dangerous fight because they're both dogs. They're both dogs, not in the way of like, oh, they're like hard hitting fighter dogs. No, they're both underdogs. They're both just trying to keep a career.
Yeah.
Um, and that's scary. Because I think when you're in that situation, you could make a mistake. You know what I mean? And you're going to make mistakes because you're literally trying to leave it all out there so that you can keep fighting in the UFC because that's going to be I mean, it is the biggest federation that there is. Um, that being said, I still think Angelosa has that little bit of extra in him, knowledge in him, to where maybe he won't go down that path of shitting the bed because he was just winging shots and got caught by one, or he was putting himself in bad positions where you know what I mean. He's in top position, but he's a little too high, you know what I mean. That being said,
I will say this that the winner of this fight has just as much to lose as the loser. I feel like this is literally a fight that this is more so about how you win rather than if you win.
this is
Because
this is a contender series
if
fight,
both
bro.
of these dudes just fucking fight a boring ass fight to decision, I feel like doesn't matter who wins, you both are getting cut.
This is a very much a contender series fight.
Yeah.
They definitely need to prove that they want to stay
Yeah.
in the UFC.
Losa can't rely too much on his wrestling unless it is his route to like finishing. And Rowe can't just depend on point striking to victory. Like he needs a knockout.
Yeah.
Like
And I think there needs to be a finish in this fight for them to continue their careers. I mean, of course, they may continue them just based on the fact that, like, oh, I won. But if you want to, like, step that ladder, then you need to, like, make something happen.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Moving on to a bantamweight bout, we have Ricky Simone going up against Cameron Smotherman. We got Simone coming in. They are 9-5 in the UFC, 21-6 overall, 2-3 in their last 5 fights. We got Smotherman coming in. They are 1-1 in the UFC, 12-5 overall, and 4-1 in their last 5 fights. I'm going to be going with Simone in this one by either decision or KO. It pains me to not, root for my fellow Cameron in this one, but to be totally honest, Cameron's have been having a fucking bad go in the UFC as of late.
Yep.
Like, this dude just lost not too long ago, actually. And then Cameron Simon, just got the brakes beat off of him by Malcolm Wellmaker, I believe, who is on this card and who we'll be covering shortly in a second. So, like, I just got to keep it real. Hey, I ain't a UFC fighter, so it's like, I can't, like, feel too bad about it. Like, damn, man, like, dude's named Cameron must not be, built for this shit. But it's just because, like, I didn't pursue that course, that career path, So it's like I wasn't able to set the standard quite the way that it should be. So these guys are coming out, kind of having to fend for themselves. I'm sorry, y'all, that I, was a deadbeat, in a sense. But hey, in another world where you guys are actually, running the table, I'm with y'all. But y'all have been having a rough go. So, with that being said, Simone is the older fighter by 5 years, shorter with the edge in grappling and cardio. Smotherman, he's gonna be younger and taller of the two. They both have the same reach. He's gonna have what I'll give him is he's gonna have the edge possibly in athleticism. He's still a guy who's very young. I think a lot more talent than technique right now at this point, and I think that that's why he kind of ran into a wall in his last fight. I believe that there's potential there. I think that he'll definitely make for some exciting fights down the road, evolve definitely with, the time that's ahead of him. But in this fight, I feel like he's actually running into a somewhat resurging Ricky Simone. Not somebody who I'm going to say right now is like able to vie for the title, but somebody who's definitely a veteran of his division, a veteran of the UFC, a veteran of MMA, and still knows how to win at this point. And I would say is probably a little more well-rounded still at this stage in his career compared to Smotherman. Ricky Simone just got done knocking out his last opponent, which nobody fucking seen that on their radar. And it's never to say that he never had good hands. It's just that that was never his bread and butter. But just like anybody else, he's evolved over time. So he has, certain elements of his game that are better than, fights past. I say all that to say that he's a little more well-rounded. And, Smotherman, I think, is going to be a good striker. But doesn't have too much to offer on the ground. So if Simone's able to get this to the ground, I think that he makes quick work of this, or at least, breaks Smotherman over the course of 3 rounds. But yeah, outside of like a flash KO or something that, Ricky Simone runs into or just doesn't see coming, I got to take him in this fight by decision or KO. So
I'm just gonna say this: every Cameron I ever met ain't shit. Bro, that was a beach ball, bro.
Especially this one.
Hey, bro, that was just a
I'm
beach
the
ball,
worst
just
of them all, bro. I'm
bink,
gonna let you know
like,
right now.
no, I'm just fucking around. I'm gonna let my bro. But that being said, Cameron Smotherman will be smothered, man. Ricky Simone's going to give him that fucking Eddie Guerrero fucking haircut, whip his ass. You know what I mean? Maybe give him a frog splash off the top of the cage. I'm not sure. But he is more of the seasoned fighter. I really do feel like he has locked in and he's ready to fucking get shit going. He's not going to climb the ranks to the top of the division. He's not going to vie for a title, but he is going to be better than a gatekeeper in that division.
Yeah.
So Ricky Simone for the win. You know what I mean? I'm picking the mullet over a Cameron, bro.
Hey, friggin' Simone has a victory over the current champion from way, way back in the day. And fucking, it's kind of funny. This is kind of shades of his career early on in the UFC when he got boosted up to fight Uriah Faber after, kind of getting some heat behind him. And then Faber had to humble him real quick. So I feel like this is kind of the same type of situation where he's got this young man coming in, who can kind of like redeem himself with the victory over Simone. And Simone is going to be, the grizzled vet who's just going to have to remind him, like, hey, bro, you still got some time ahead of you.
So. Got a couple more slaps to take, my boy.
Yeah. All right, folks. So moving on to the flyweight division, we got Cody Durden going up against Jose Ochoa. We got Durden coming in 6-5 with 1 draw in the UFC, 17-7 with that 1 draw overall, and 2-3 in their last 5 fights. We got Ochoa coming in 0-1 in the UFC, 7-1 with 1 no contest overall, and 3-1 with that 1 no contest in their last 5 fights. I'm gonna be going with Durden in this one by either decision or sub. They're gonna be the older of the two by 10 years. So I mean, that's probably the only concern I really have in this bout. But he's definitely gonna have the edge in the grappling. I expect him to probably try and get that going as early as possible, and just try and break Ochoa over 3 rounds and or find that submission eventually. Don't get me wrong, he if he has to be measured and patient, he can't find himself in an advantageous position and then start like putting the fucking pedal to the metal and potentially gas himself out. I don't think that would be good for him. So he does have to kind of choose position over submission and just kind of like just make sure that he's staying in the advantageous positions and getting this fight to the ground and not having any extended periods of standing time with Jose Ochoa. Ochoa, he's a striker and possibly has the edge in that regard. But these guys are pretty much the same size, with Ochoa being a little lankier of the two. And yeah, I mean, like, he could definitely keep this at distance and point fight his way, possibly catch Durden with something flash. But I just feel like Durden is kind of like a bad matchup for him and is going to get him to the ground. And as long as he doesn't gas himself trying to find a finish, I think that he can control this fight and, win it at a point, but needs to make sure that he's maintaining winning position throughout this entire bout. So I'll be going with Durden in this one.
Okay, I won't be talking about this just right away. I'm going to actually be talking about what up, 305 Chunks. I just wanted to say.
My man, what's good?
Yeah, I agree that Buckley has a little bit more charisma than Usman. We're going to talk about Usman later. I'm going to say some shit. People aren't going to like it. Usman does fight out of Colorado. And but I will say this. Usman has a podcast where he picks fights. And he can't even win at picking fights. So I'm just going to leave that right there. Go ahead. You want something to say? You know what I mean?
Oh, I was just going to, add on that, like, yeah, Buckley obviously is definitely the more
Entertaining?
Yeah, and just
better character?
extroverted personality for sure.
Yeah.
But Usman is good in terms of just like tracks talk and just like that confident aura about them that's like, okay, yeah, sounds good, So I noticed that early on when he was facing Tyron Woodley. I realized that okay, this guy's got a little bit of swag to him when it comes to the microphone. But yeah, in this one, Buckley definitely has more charisma. Like bro said, we'll get to that later on. We'll expound upon this a little bit more later on when we're covering the fight. I don't want to give away too much of my thoughts about why I think, who's going to win and all that shit. But yeah, definitely Buckley by default more charisma, but Usman is the
How do you feel about
he's the
Usman's
sneaky one.
dancing?
Bruh, I mean, that don't got nothing to do with fighting. And like, I don't care about how that fool dances and shit. And to be totally honest, that fool, he's dancing, from like stuff from like his native country and shit like that. So that's like a whole different vibe and shit. And I'm sure maybe it fits in well, across the pond, But I don't have any thoughts on how that man moves his body outside of fighting.
All I'm gonna say is
I know what you're trying to do, though, bro. I know you're trying, but I'm good.
All right.
We already fucking summoned a whole profile fucking from Diddy's last fucking episode, so I'm straight. Remember in the chat, fucking a profile that was just P Diddy just popped up.
That was wild as
Then
fuck.
the chat just decided to go fucking bonkers, so I'm trying to avoid that this time around.
Okay. I don't give a fuck. Cody Durden is going to be Tyler Durden and beat the shit out of Jose Ochoa. And if you guys get that reference,
another Fight Club reference, bruh. You realize, dog, that like I have like an ongoing list of like almost. I don't have it like listed, but I can tell you right now, bro. Like this isn't a new analogy you're about to drop on anybody. You've gone with the Fight Club analogy quite a bit over our time. But go ahead. Give the folks, I guess, who are tuning in who aren't familiar with it, go ahead and give them
All
the go
right,
around.
Cody Durden is the name of the fucking main character in Fight Club. Brad Pitt, whatever. Like, man, fuck you, man. Like, that's a good reference, bro.
I'll
That's
just say
bullshit.
you bring
Like,
it up a lot, and it's funny because you bring it up like it's Brad, like you're dropping new science, and I'm like, nah, bro. But hey, do your thing.
let me go ahead and get back at this. I'm sorry. Sorry, for the interruption, the rude one, right? Like,
Anyway,
at the end of the day, Cody Durden's going to beat the shit out of fucking Jose Ochoa. Like, Cody Durden is Tyler Durden. If you know the reference, you know the reference. All you guys do now. Great. Thank you, bro. Anyway, that being said, Cody Durden is the more seasoned fighter in the UFC. I believe this is Ochoa's
second
first,
fight.
second fight in the UFC. Just doesn't have that a seasoned veteran in him. You know what I mean? And he's not fighting like a old man. He's fighting a man that's very distinguished in his position right now in the UFC.
I want to say too, now that I think about it, that Ochoa it's kind of been a while too since he's been in there in general. Since that last fight that he took a L in, that was 6 months and 3 weeks ago. It's been a
A
little,
decent amount of time. You know
for
what I mean?
especially like when you're starting your career, like you probably want to get in there as
As
much
much
as
as
you
you can,
can.
yeah, for sure. So Cody Durden for the win. You know what I mean? I know that's like not very like the best analysis I could possibly give you, but it's the one I'm giving you now. So enjoy it. You know what I mean? I don't give bad analysis. Not even bad analysis. I don't give you bad bets or bad picks. So my analysis might be trash, but my picks are fucking treasure.
All right, folks. Moving on to a bantamweight bout. We have Malcolm Wellmaker going up against Chris Montinho. We got Wellmaker coming in 1-0 in the UFC and a perfect 9-0 overall. We got Montinho coming in 0-2 in the UFC, actually making a return for a second stint. 14-6 overall, and are currently on a 5-fight win streak, which is what got them back here in the first place. So with all that though, I am still going to be going with Wellmaker by decision or KO. They're going to be slightly younger of the two, taller and longer, and definitely the more dangerous of the two as a striker. He's going to have distance. He's going to have power in the hands. So really, you know, he could make this fight go a couple of different ways. He could just point fight his way to victory, get some cage time, get some experience in there against somebody who has, more experience than them, has faced some stiff competition. See how they stack up. Or, he comes in there and he tries to murder this dude, which could possibly happen, but then you run the risk of gassing out if you're not able to get it done. We've seen in the past, Montinho took a fucking beating from Sean O'Malley and I think he didn't get finished until late in the fight. But like I said, after that, he took some time away from the organization, racked up some wins. He's back now. He's slightly older of the two by a year, but he's going to be the smaller of the two fighters. He's a striker, but more so from a point and technique standpoint. He can pepper you and start pouring it on if, you start to break over time and then find a finish that way. But really, there's nothing too threatening coming from him. His real weapon is his durability. He can Homer Simpson your ass, and then fucking eventually you're just tired and swinging, and then he can start, peppering you. But I just don't see that happening. Outside of his durability, really all he has is just like experience over Wellmaker, but I think Wellmaker is just basically planting his flag, and we're going to see a lot more from him down the road. And Montinho's just a good stepping stone. So I'm going to be going with Wellmaker in this one.
I think Wellmaker's not a Wellmaker. I think he's a fucking coffin maker. And Montinho, with his dumbass green hair, is going to be putting one.
Yeah, I think that's when he. Well, I don't know if this picture on Tapology is from that fight, but yeah, when he got busted up by O'Malley, he had that lime green hair.
I don't like fucking fighters with green hair. And okay, like not green hair. I'm sorry. Like I don't like fighters who color their hair. I know we've got a few of them, right, that are good, right? They're like they color their hair and whatever for the fight and like they do well. But most of them don't. And this is my thought process on it. You know what I mean? Call it a conspiracy, call it some foil hat shit. But like if you're worried about what the fuck your hair looks like when you're getting ready to punch somebody in the face and they're gonna punch you in the face, you're worried about the wrong shit. You're worried about the wrong fucking shit.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see a motherfucker that goes in there grizzly, like, has facial hair fucking patchy like me, hair's all fucked up like this. You know what I mean? Like, that dude, being me,
He's locked in.
is gonna fuck you up because he doesn't give a shit about anything but his fists, his feet, and fucking killing you.
That's how fucking Cody Garbrandt's looking right now. We'll be getting to that fight later on. But that fool, he's looking like that. Like what you just explained, that's Cody Garbrandt right now for this upcoming fight.
Bro, I don't want to see your pretty ass. You got your fucking eyelashes done, your hair fucking colored, and your tattoos just brand new and shit. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro.
Fucking
You're catching an ass whooping.
Darren said Montinho can take a lot of punishment. Yep, sure fucking can. Like he's gonna be durable. Like
Sure.
that's gonna be the test. Wellmaker, his biggest challenge is himself in this fight and making sure that he stays measured and fucking calm and doesn't fucking, like I say, swing himself out trying to put Montinho away because Montinho's going to take some punches and still keep throwing. So
Sure, but
unless he just fucking starches his ass and leaves him fucking frozen, but that remains to be seen. But looks like we're both going with Wellmaker. Moving on to a welterweight matchup, we have Michael Chiaza going up against Court McGee. We got Chiaza coming in. They are 13-7 in the UFC, 18-7 overall, and 2-3 in their last 5 fights. We got McGee coming in. They are 11-2 in the UFC, 22-13 overall, and 2-3 in their last 5 fights. I'm gonna be going with Chiaza in this one by either decision or submission. Chiaza is gonna be the younger and taller of the two. Definite edge in the grappling. That's what he's probably going to look to get going as soon as possible and, just get McGee out of here as fast as he can. McGee's going to be the older of the two by 3 years, shorter of the two fighters, and a grappler in his own right, but more so of just like a position grappler, somebody who has more like ground and pound, and it's kind of like an in-between of two different eras. Like he's fighting in this era, but he's definitely, his heyday was in like the era before that where ground and pound was more prevalent as opposed to, now dudes are wrestling and their jiu-jitsu is just crazy and there's all these, chokes and shit out there. This dude was literally just like try and mount you and fucking, hammer fist you out type shit. And now he's still, going strong today, but it's clear that there's a separation between him and this era. And, Chiaza is on the latter end of their career as well. I think just going out to get some loot and, kind of just take some fun fights in the process, keep himself active before he eventually becomes a full-time analyst and shit like that. So, I believe that there's still some motivation there, but definitely Chiaza is on his way out. So out of these two guys, I mean, McGee is just in the twilight. Chiaza's right behind him, and I just think because of that, Chiaza just has a little bit more in the tank to be able to just kind of send McGee off and, set himself up for one or two more down the road. I'll be going with Chiaza.
I agree with I really agree with that entire analysis. Um, Chiaz is an older fighter. Court McGee's an older fighter. They've definitely all both been in great wars. Court McGee is part of like more of the old guard. Even though he's kind of a middle child, in the whole fight game, Chiaz is a little bit closer to what I mean. The younger generation. Um, just has a few more routes to victory. Um, I just think that Court McGee is on his last legs. Like, not no disrespect, great fucking career. You're a warrior. You leave it all out there on the mat. Um, I just think Chiesa has more to put out on the mat than you do, unfortunately. But not taking anything away from you. Uh, so Michael Chiesa for the win. It's gonna be a great fight. It's gonna be a very nostalgic fight for me. I was imagine as well for you.
Yeah.
Um, but you know what I mean. Like this is a fight I definitely want to see. I kind of wish it was slightly higher on the card, like maybe two up more or whatever, just because of the two people that are competing.
Yeah.
Not necessarily because they're better than the two fighters or the four fighters that are above them, but just because like this is a fight I want to see, and I think this is going to be a great fight. I don't think it's going to be like a blowout either way. But I do think Chiesa wins.
For sure, for sure. Sounds like Darren in the chat's going with Chiesa as well.
He's a smart man. That's a fucking smart man, bruh.
So moving on to
Moving on, I'm gonna move on to the bathroom.
Oh my gosh. Well, you go ahead and do that.
Do that, and I'm gonna move on to the fucking patio and have a little.
Take a little potty break. While we have this short intermission then before we get into the featured bout of the prelims, go ahead and feel free to put your picks in the chat. Let us know who you guys are going with, who you believe is going to win, why they're going to win. I'm here open for questions now at this point. So, let me know what you think. But, yeah, so far feeling pretty good about these picks. It's just like some of these fights it's just like definitely kind of like these are fights that literally are like to help work people in and out of the division at this point. It's like literally there's a lot of folks who are going to be making departures and a lot of people are going to be able to hang on. And some people who, are going to be able to make a name off of others, I don't think until we get up here into the main card that, you really start to see stakes.
I'm gonna pose a real quick question just to you off camera.
What's up?
I mean, you're more than welcome to obviously answer it on camera. Do you think it's harder to pick number cards? You know what I mean? As like a 316 or whatever it is,
Pay-per-view.
or the other cards? I would love to know that from you.
To be totally honest, I don't necessarily think it's a matter of the type of card. I think it's where in the card. To be honest, I pick prelims way fucking better than I pick fucking main card bouts for some reason. I don't know what happens. Like the amount of times I've started off like 5-7-0, just running through shit, and then you get to that fucking main card, and then just everything falls apart. It's crazy, and I get it. I guess that was what comes with, putting up the best of the best against each other. But I guess in terms of like, yeah, I will say that, some of these fight night cards are definitely harder to call than the numbered cards. But to be totally honest, I would say I've had plenty of good goes at fight night cards and plenty of good goes at pay-per-view cards. But it's more so like sometimes like when I start off hot, I start to be like, fuck. Like I feel good about this, but damn, like at any moment shit could go off the rails. Darren said, I feel like we're due for a transition of talent. A lot of fighters going to retire in the next 6 years. Definitely.
I think before 6 years,
right.
like probably more like
Some of the cats
2 years.
It's basically some of the cats who were around when, you know, the Chuck Liddells and fucking Rampages those guys started.
You're going way too far back. I don't think, like, that's...
No, I'm
those
not.
dudes have already started retiring.
No, John Jones was right there when fucking Rampage was at the height of his career. Freaking, he was right there when Rashad Evans was... Court McGee. He was right here when those guys were fucking starting to make their exits and shit like that. Like,
well, make their exits, but they're the transitional. They were the new generation.
Yeah.
They're not like they weren't the Chuck Liddells, right? Like Chuck, there's no one other than old man Jim Miller.
But that's what I'm saying. You still got Jim Millers and stuff like that. I mean, you got some of those guys who were a part of that transitional generation that's in between the Chuck Liddells and the fucking, you know, the guys we got today. You know, the TJ Dillashaws, the fucking Dominic Cruzes.
Dillashaw still fighting?
No, he's not.
Oh,
and that's what I'm saying. You know, like some of these dudes have outlasted. I mean, I want to say Shogun fucking like retired maybe like a year or two ago. You know, or maybe 3 years or something like that, and just got inducted into the Hall of Fame. So I'm just saying we're definitely seeing a changing of the guard. Yeah, so even Darren, he's saying, you know, like in the next 6 years, you're going to see dudes like Poirier, Usman, Izzy, Poatan. They're all going to be retired here pretty soon.
I would say those three dudes, like literally, those three dudes will be retired within the next 2 years.
Mm-hmm. But you're also going to have dudes like Aljamain Sterling, Merab Dvalishvili. Those dudes probably got about maybe like 3-5 years ahead of them.
3 to 4.
At most.
I would say 3 to 4 at most.
So, you know, like, yeah, we're definitely seeing a changing of the guard. And that is the problem when that happens is there's no clear front runner, I feel like, from this new guard because these guys are so good coming in now. They're so well-rounded and fucking, you know,
They've been training their whole lives. We got to remember, when the UFC started, it was bar fighters. People who were just like, I like to fight when I drink.
Tank Abbott and shit like that.
Even Chuck Liddell. Let's, like, really look at Chuck Liddell. He was just a dude who, like, fought in a bar.
Well, I mean, yeah, but then, you know, fucking him and Dana White fucking went on a fucking spree, bruh, and fucking set the table for the UFC and shit like that once that takeover took place. And yeah, man, like, I mean, I'm just saying, you're right. Like, some of these guys are about to be on their way out real soon, and we're about to see a leveling of the playing field and see who starts to rise to the top from there. So... No, good question. Good way to, you know, manage the intermission. Good shit, my man. So with that, we're going to move on to the featured prelim of the night. We have a light heavyweight matchup between Paul Craig going up against Rodolfo Bellato. We got Craig coming in. They are 9-9 with one draw in the UFC, 17-9 with that one draw overall, and are 1-4 in their last 5 fights. We got Bellato coming in. They are 1-0 with one draw in the UFC, 12-2 with that one draw overall, and 4-0 with that one draw in their last 5 fights. I'm going to be going with Bellato in this one by either decision or KO. Craig's going to be the older of the two by 8 years. Slightly less of a reach than Bellato, but is definitely going to have the advantage in grappling. And so basically, Craig is of an old guard or an older guard where, you know, at one point he was very dangerous as a specialist. And now in today's game, you can't really be a specialist and or just rely on that facet of your game to get you through, even if you're going against someone who maybe one aspect of the game is just their specialty.
Unless you're Poatan, and even Poatan got fucking smashed.
So it's like, it's one of those things where, you know, Craig, pretty much the game plan for Craig is don't let him get you to the ground and don't get overzealous if you fucking put him on his pockets because that's when he's at his most dangerous. He can get you in a triangle, which is his specialty, and one of the older fucking grappling techniques that nobody should really be losing fucking to at this point and at this era and evolution of the game. But that's how good he is at this. And a dude like Bellato, I will say, is perfect to either put Craig on his pockets and out, or the perfect person to fucking fall into Craig's trap and fucking get caught in one of those stupid ass triangles.
Read the chat, bro, because that's some real shit.
Yeah, nah. Did you see the fucking face off today? He tried to do the fucking Hulk Hogan to the shirt and fucking couldn't even get that. All he did was just stretch out the collar because it was like a flex shirt. So fucking like you gotta put the pre-cut in that shit if you're gonna do that, bro.
Even Hulk did that shit.
Yeah, fucking so he did that shit and literally, bro. He just had a stretched out ass collar. Shit looked dumb as hell.
Fucking bacon collar. Clown.
But yeah, I mean, like, but that's the thing is it's almost like he banks on that. That's probably just as much a part of his game plan as just trying to assert dominance over you with his skill set. Is if you do put him on his ass, he's almost begging you to come down to the ground and try and finish him off, because then he's gonna fucking wrap you up in something and then you're gonna be pissed off.
Real
The
shit, bro.
refrigerator with his hips. Well, he might fucking have to do that by default, depending on how Bellato leaves him. Fucking so.
He snaps his fucking arm off.
Yeah. So.
So that being said, I'm picking Bellato.
Bellato
is the grappler in this exchange. He is not a specialist. He is an all-around MMA fighter. Thousands of routes to victory. What more do I need to say? Okay, like you want more analysis than that?
I mean,
but I don't have it for you.
It's two somewhat one-dimensional guys.
No, what?
Well, yeah, Bellato's the pure striker. Craig's the pure grappler. I just think Bellato at least has enough sense about him to fucking have some takedown defense and just keep this shit on the feet. And like I said, even if he put the best thing you can do is you put Craig on his pockets and then you tell him to get back up. And then you fucking put him on his pockets again. That's your best route to victory. Do not follow and fall to the ground with that man as he's fucking hitting his back, because that's when he's the livest to get your ass out of there. So I think, yeah, it's safe to say we're both going with Bellato.
Also don't Henry Cejudo him and like kick him in the balls, and then like he's like, oh, I can't move on any further.
Yeah, no, real shit. Real shit.
This is a card that's out of town, and I want to speak about that. So like these out of town cards, shit gets weird, bro. Because
the Atlanta Athletic Commission, I'm not too familiar with them. I don't know who the judges are gonna be, or
or how they decide to do shit. Like, and this is the thing, I've seen that whenever they get outside of Vegas, shit's up and down. Like,
yeah,
shit's
well,
black
I mean,
and white.
when someone goes to another country, then it's like a little bit easier to accept. Like, yeah, most of these niggas, if they end up letting this go to the cards, unless they literally just fucking put on a clinic, they're running the risk of losing a robbery or some shit like that.
Absolutely.
So you can kind of accept that, and you can even play that into your fucking strategy, ultimately making your picks or whatever.
Sure.
But yeah, when you're in the States and you think it's, across the board in the same country, it's not. It's really not. Fucking New Jersey is scary. Fucking, I'm trying to think of where else it was that they went to that I was just like, bro, like what is going on right now?
Seattle,
I know Atlantic City was fucking crazy.
Seattle? They just did Seattle not too long ago.
Seattle was a little bit crazy for sure. Yeah, you're right about that. So, it's just basically, you just gotta watch out in these scenarios. So Bellato needs to get a finish. Craig just needs to just do Paul Craig things because I'm pretty sure
Paul Craig things.
he's employed regardless of how this fucking fight goes down because he makes it interesting. He knows
does.
how to do his job.
For sure.
Entertainment above all else with the UFC. All right, folks. Moving on to the main card opener. We have another light heavyweight matchup. We got Alonzo Manifil going up against Omar Sy. We got Manifil coming in 9-5 with one draw in the UFC, 16-5 with that one draw overall, and 3-2 in their last 5 fights. We got Sy coming in. They are 2-0 in the UFC and are a perfect 11-0 overall. With all that, I am actually going out on a limb, and I'm picking Alonzo Manifil in this one by either decision or KO. Manifield's going to be the older of the two by 8 years, smaller in stature, which is kind of crazy because he's fucking like big old fucking, he's a big boy. But just in this fight, Omar Sy is just going to be taller and have the reach advantage. He's definitely going to have the edge in the power department in terms of striking. And at this stage in his career, he's proven to be somewhat durable and have that dog mentality that, he's able to just like stick around or just keep himself in the fight just long enough to, squeak out split decisions and or, ultimately be the victor in decisions. Which is a long way from where he started. He used to just be a knockout machine, and then eventually hard work catches up to talent, and he started facing cats who were just more than big heads to fucking punch on and fucking put on the canvas. So I just feel like he's become an experienced, somewhat well-rounded UFC / MMA fighter. And that's what makes him dangerous, is that his experience, could definitely play in his favor. You got Sy coming in, who is, they're going to be the younger of the two, bigger and have more reach, like I had mentioned before. And they're going to definitely have the edge in the point striking. And they're somewhat well-rounded in their own regard, but they're young. They're still getting their feet up underneath them. And really a lot of my decision stems from their last fight as well. They just looked like a guy that, has cheetah speed. Starts out fucking guns a-blazing, but then if he's not able to get you out of there after some time, he starts to fade, and he starts to fade fast. And, against someone like Manifil, who has proven that, he can go to deep water, I think that that's what plays in his favor here, and I had to go with Manifil on this one. And so, yeah, that's going to be my pick. I won't be surprised if Sy wins. I think if he wins, it's going to be quick, fast, got fucking, Manifil the fuck out of there. But I do believe that that they put Manifil up against Sy for a reason. They want to test whether or not he has that, like if he has that staying power.
If he has that UFC
rounds.
caliber endurance, and he doesn't, Manifil is going to get this man out of here. He'll get him out of here probably late second, third round, because Manifil has a very high fight IQ. Manifil's a great fighter in the UFC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and
Well, that's the thing too, is he can still get you the fuck out of there fast too.
he can.
Like he still, don't get it wrong, he's still that knockout artist, but he knows that as the competition stiffens, you can't just rely on that facet. So it's like, don't get us wrong, like that's kind of what makes him even more dangerous. He's live the entire fight. The entire fight he's live, but he can go to deep water with you if he has to.
Sure. And yeah, you're right. Like he can change gears, right? Like, because he'll definitely strike, and he'll strike hard, and he'll throw haymakers in that first round, and realize, okay, maybe this guy's not gonna leave. Cool. Well, now this is the new game plan. And then when he gets into that second round and that third round, what he's doing, he's point striking. You know what I mean? He's shooting takedowns. He's grappling. He's holding him down. You know what I mean? Not the most exciting fight, of
Yeah.
course, but Manifil's going to be
He
in there
knows
for
how
a
to
win.
win because at
Exactly.
the end of the day, they keep him around because he possesses so many different assets. He's a gatekeeper of sorts. He still can put on an exciting fight and either finish in exciting fashion or get finished in exciting fashion. And he really, I think, just appreciates his position in life right now. I think he's one of those dudes that was like, well, yeah, I knock motherfuckers out. This is
He's
just
a
what I
company
do.
man. He's a company man.
And then he realized, like, yeah, that's what I do, but that still doesn't guarantee you a spot on this roster. Like, you have to fucking string some wins together along with being fucking, exciting.
Yeah.
So, like, I think he's one of those dudes that's really humbled himself to where he knows every time he gets to step into this octagon is a privilege. So he leaves it all out there, but he also knows, like, he's not necessarily,
He's not gonna make
chasing a title
Yeah,
at
he's
this
not
point
making dumb
now.
mistakes. He's not out there, you know what I mean, winging things out there. You know what I mean? Like, he has all the talent in the world, but he's realized that his talent isn't going to get him anywhere. His hard work's going to get him where he needs to be at. And so that's why I go with Alonzo Manifil in this particular spot,
Yeah,
for sure.
for sure. Darren says, Alonzo capable of knocking this guy out. Yes, that's kind of why I went on that rant. I had seen your comment, and that's what I'm saying. He does possess a little bit of the best of both worlds. He can go for 3 if he needs to, but he can get you the fuck out of there if you leave
Fuck up.
yourself open like that.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure. All right, folks, moving on to a middleweight matchup. We got Cody Brundage going up against Mansur Abdul Malik. We got Brundage coming in. They are 5-5 with 1 no contest in the UFC, 11-6 with 1 no contest overall, and 3-1 with that 1 no contest in their last 5 fights. We got Malik coming in. They are 2-0 in the UFC and are a perfect 8-0 overall. I'm going to be going with Abdul Malik in this one by either decision or KO. Brundage is going to be the older of the two by 4 years, the smaller of the two in terms of height and reach. But he will possess the edge in the grappling. Abdul Malik, he's going to be younger and the bigger of the two fighters. And definitely will possess the edge in the striking department. But I think the only thing that he's lacking is just experience overall, and maybe slight cardio issues if he's not able to manage himself and pace his fucking output throughout the entirety of the fight. If he tries, like I said, you go in there, you fucking put a dude on his pockets and then you empty the gas tank trying to finish him, like, that's a nice fucking way to find yourself on the losing end of a fight where you should have easily cleared this dude. So that's kind of the only thing I'm worried about is, him potentially gassing himself out, searching for that finish. Whereas, Brundage is a mixed bag. You don't know if he's going to show up on his game. You don't know if he's going to have shit fucking weighing on him. You don't know if he wants to be there or not sometimes. And then you don't know how he's going to get it done. He can knock motherfuckers out, or he could submit them, or just, be the better grappler of the two and just, like, control you and shit. And he's not afraid to take the easy way out either. You fuck around and strike him illegally, he's definitely going to fucking shoot for that no contest. And and is not ashamed one bit about it. So in this fight, like I said, I'm going with Abdul Malik. I just think he's going to be super dangerous, live for a knockout the entire time that the fight takes place. And as long as he can keep it on the feet and doesn't make any dumb mistakes, I think that, he should be able to get this one done, most likely by finish. But I'm going to be going with Abdul Malik.
And Abdul Malik is a great pick. Because Cody Brundage is, again, you can't really pick on what he's really going to do. You know what I mean? He could show up as any one of the many facets of Cody Brundage that there are. And
He got some hair transplants though, so that tells you all you need to know.
Yeah.
That's where his priorities are.
His priorities are not where his priorities need to be. His priorities need to be on beating people's asses. His priorities need to be on your feet and your hands. They're not there. They're on his head. And you know what's a problem with your priority being on your head when you're a fighter? Is you get punched in it.
Yeah, you don't want hair that's flowing when you're in a fight because motherfucking that shit accentuates the actions that are happening against you. You could be dodging a punch and it looks like you got hit because your fucking hair is flying back and weird shit like that.
Absolutely, which can like sway the judges.
Yeah, real shit.
That being said, Cody Brundage is just old. Cody Brundage is like he's been in the game for a long time. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't lay the gloves down in this fight.
I think he has things that are bigger than him going on in his life that he kind of has to fight. That's something that we've mentioned in episodes past when Cody Brundage has been on the card, and I think that that's probably going to hold true for as long as he can possibly fight, so that at least he can at least set a foundation to be able to walk away from fighting and find something else to do, because his struggles definitely don't end after he retires.
Yeah, and that's a great point. It's really a great point. But I do believe that Abdul Malik will beat his ass.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like he stole something, to be honest with you. It just is what it is. I'm just telling the truth out here.
Oh shit, I'm dead.
And it's sad because I hate to see fighters go out like that. Because Cody Brundage has a decent fight IQ. I think sometimes he can get a little egotistic. You know what I mean? And he runs into a striker, and so he starts striking, or he runs into a grappler, so he starts grappling when he shouldn't. When he should do the opposite. But he's just gonna catch an ass whooping.
I think
This is my thing. Let me tell you guys. I'm not the greatest analysis. We all know this. We all know that Cameron is a far better analysis of fights than I am. But
until I fucking shit the bed on a fucking card, then
no, not even that though. But your analysis is always great.
Yeah, for sure.
It's always solid on like even
when I take an L, I'm like, oh well, I called that. I at least called that.
Sure.
Then, so yeah, I feel you.
But I just see people who are going to win and not going to win. Like, as far as, like, you're just not built the right way to beat this guy or this girl. Sorry. You know what I mean? And sometimes that's what it really comes down to in my analysis, because I'm like, oh, you're kind of looking like a bitch in the last couple fights. And so, like, you're going to get your ass whooped. And that just is what it is. And that's literally, like, life perspective.
Yeah. No, for sure. I feel that. All right, folks. Moving on to the first of the last 4 fights on this card. We got a bantamweight matchup. We got Cody Garbrandt going up against Raoni Barcelos. We got Garbrandt coming in 9-6 in the UFC, 14-6 overall, and 2-3 in their last 5 fights. We got Barcelos coming in 8-4 in the UFC, 19-5 overall, and 3-2 in their last 5 fights. Excuse me, folks. I'm going to have to go with Barcelos in this one by either decision or KO. Garbrandt is going to be the younger and taller of the two. Definitely an edge in the striking from, like, just a technical standpoint. He's definitely a great boxer. He's going to have the speed in this fight. I think mainly the concern with Cody Garbrandt is just, like, the wear and tear that he's withstood over the course of his career and whether or not the chin is there. In his last fight, he got submitted. That was just, I think anybody knows that Garbrandt, although he does have a wrestling background, that's just not what he leans into anymore at this stage in his career. And if anything, just tries to practice healthy takedown defense, but definitely has nothing to offer you from his back or anything like that. So, Figueiredo exploited that weakness and took full advantage of it. So that's not to say Garbrandt's lost a step in the striking. Like, he's still doing his thing with the striking. It's just that, unfortunately, he faced TJ Dillashaw a couple of times and got fucking his head taken off. And whether that was because Dillashaw was on the shit or not, at the end of the day, he put himself in vulnerable positions and got his fucking head taken off. And then on top of that, did the same thing against Pedro Munoz. And he's just never really looked the same since that. So you got Barcelos, who is older by 5 years and a grizzled vet in his own right, has definitely been through wars and has definitely got some wear and tear of his own. He's going to have the longer reach of the two, and in my opinion, is going to be the brawler who he's a perfect opponent and test for Cody in the sense of, like, can he bait Cody into being old Cody? Because if he baits Cody into being old Cody, then that's when Cody just starts swinging fucking aimlessly and fucking leaves his head fucking wide open and just gets jawed or does the jawing. But that's the thing, is like, Cody Garbrandt was that guy and got by being that guy until he couldn't anymore, and then started being more measured, but then it started taking away from the excitement. He's had one bout in like maybe his last 5 or 6 where he fucking put Rafael Asunciao on his pockets, and it made you feel like, man, that's the dude I remember. But then it was short-lived after that. And I just think that he's kind of a guy who's hit a ceiling in the sense of, like, as long as you can fucking train some good boxing in your own right and then potentially get him to the ground, then it's a wrap for him. Or, if you're just able to catch his ass, like you're live for a finish on him because the chin just ain't quite what it used to be. So that makes Barcelos the perfect opponent in this regard because he's gonna brawl. He's super durable and has a nasty dog mentality. And, this was proven all too true in his last bout against a young, up-and-coming Peyton Talbot. Yes. And he fucking made Talbot look like a young boy in that fight and freaking outdogged him and was the more aggressive and dangerous fighter in that fight. So, I guess really, yeah, I have to go with Barcelos in this one because I feel like he has been through and is going to endure the things that Garbrandt is falling victim to.
Yes.
Shouts out, Cody. Level the vibes. What's good, my man? Glad that you could join us again for another episode.
Shouts out to Cody Garbrandt. Cody Garbrandt is a fucking monster. I love watching him fight. He leaves it all out in the line. He is he's great, dude. Like, there's nothing bad you can say about Cody Garbrandt.
No, not at all.
He shows up with injuries and he fights like he doesn't even have
win or loss, I'll be watching the next Garbrandt fight.
You know what I mean? Every fucking time, Garbrandt is a great fighter. Great something to see. I don't think he can stay with Barcelos either. I think Barcelos is going to fucking buck him up. Garbrandt has some of the fastest hands in the UFC. Somehow he's a wrestler that has some of the best boxing that we've ever seen.
He's a Golden Gloves boxer too.
Oh, that's something I wasn't aware of.
Yeah.
But I do know that he was like a super wrestler, right?
Yeah.
But his problem, in my opinion, you know what I mean? And again, I'm not there. I'm not sitting there and I'm not shooting fucking in the gym with him, right?
Salute, Darren. Appreciate it.
But I think what it is with him is that he trains too hard. which is that makes you know what I mean. Like it doesn't make sense, right? Like he trains too hard.
Well, yeah, I
He
mean,
does too much.
he
But he
sustains a
literally
lot of injuries
in
in and
his
out of
training camps,
camps.
yes.
Yeah, for
And that's his
sure.
problem. Like
For sure.
I don't know if anybody's watched the Joe Rogan with him, and he's like, dude, I'm always fucking injured. Every time I show up to a fucking fight, I'm injured. And I'm like,
Yep.
that's kind of a problem, dude. Like that's
But
kind of like
now this skid that he's been on is starting to lay waste to his mental now too. So like he's coming in there physically compromised, and let's say he shores that up, but because he's been losing, he's got this extra pressure on himself to win, and then if he doesn't get it done there, now he's mentally fucking done, and so then it's like, you can't get one or the other. So then maybe he comes in mentally prepared, but has something lingering that fucking he can't get past. And we had mentioned this earlier in the episode. This version of Garbrandt, whatever is about to show up to this fight, is going to be the most random of them all. I mean, this dude's showing up with a fucking sword tattooed on his fucking face through his eye, or that's what the appearance of it's supposed to be. And his hair is fucking like almost to his shoulders.
also what does that mean?
That's what I'm saying, because like we were talking about, like, okay, does that mean he's dialed the fuck in? He don't care? I'm fucking Grizzly Cody now?
Or I can't see out of my left eye?
Or is it like, bruh, I fucking don't care about life. I'm just here to get my check.
Who knows?
You know what I mean? Like I fucking used to have it, and now I'm not quite there no more type shit. It's kind of odd. Much love, Darren, for giving me my praise as an analyst. Breaking down these fights. Shouts out, level the vibes.
Nigga, that nigga ain't shit.
Because that's the truth. Freaking Cody Garbrandt just can't mix it together these days like he used to. And great point. Got all the individual pieces, but when he gets in there, he just can't put it together, just like you said. And then Darren said he wasn't the same after COVID, and it's the truth. Like, there's certain points in dudes' careers, and that's what makes fighting so crazy. It's literally fucking you got it one day, and then the next day, it can all be gone. And that's why I give these dudes so much respect, because they really do lay it all on the fucking line. Even if you ain't good, you still gotta fucking be respected for the fact that you even fucking put yourself out there like that. There's a lot of dudes just in regular society, they ain't willing to fucking, take that type of fucking humiliation or that type of embarrassment of getting put on their fucking pockets. A lot of these motherfuckers just pull guns nowadays and shit, and fucking, that's the problem, Like, I think that's why I love fighting so much above all sports, is that it's a fucking singular fucking effort from somebody, and literally the determining factor between the two more often than not is who wanted it fucking more.
Well, and that's why I loved wrestling, right? Like, so when I was a wrestler, you know what I mean? Shouts out Kennedy High School. Shouts out fucking Georgia Washington High School. Because at the end of the day, like, it was literally how much work you put in versus how much work the other guy put in.
Yeah.
And that work won out. And there was times where I won my match and the rest of my team lost. Not everyone on the team lost, but like we lost as a team.
Yeah.
I didn't give a fuck.
I held up my end of the bargain.
I did what I was supposed to do. And then there was other times where my whole team won and I fucking took it out. And I felt like fucking shit because I let the team down.
Yeah.
No matter if they won or not,
I
took it out.
Or then it puts you on the chopping block, because now, leading up to the next fucking meet, you have to fucking run through everybody who's at that weight class to assert yourself as the best for the fucking job next time out.
Absolutely. And that was a whole ass thing.
And that's the same shit with this, bruh. Like, 1 minute you're on top and everybody loves you, and the next minute you ain't fucking nobody and you're a fucking bum. And fucking, you got your old fans who fucking appreciate what you've done and what you've contributed to the sport, and then you got your new fans who only know you for what you've done lately.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guida, Clay Guida, perfect example. Fucking dude, fucking was must-see TV every fight and always gave it his all and was actually a beast. He was like the first Marab almost for a second there. But, like this game is unforgiving, man. So, at a certain point, he turned into a gatekeeper and then eventually just a name to launch a couple of, new names off of. And then he had to get up out of there.
Yeah.
But,
And Father Time takes no losses.
oh,
We all know this.
yep. But, Barcelos can kind of, put that type of talk to rest in his case,
Because he's not UFC old. He's old, but he's not UFC old. I mean, and there's also a difference in that.
He is, but like
But do you understand what I'm saying when I say that?
yeah, no, he's got he's got wear and tear.
But is it UFC wear and tear? There's a difference between wear and
Well,
tear.
I mean,
and
he's
UFC.
8-4 in the U. He's had 12 bouts, and he's known for wars. Like he doesn't put a lot of motherfuckers away. He has a 19-5 career, and not only, but he has 11 finishes out of those 19 wins. You know what I mean? But 8 decisions out of those wins as well, which means he's going to deep water. He's either fucking kill or be killed. You know what I mean? And that's the thing with Cody Garbrandt is he is a kill or be killed fighter, but he realizes that most times that leaves him on the kill end because he's just too fucking ill with it.
Off the beginning.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that's why Cody Garbrandt's still around and will continue to be around until he doesn't want to be because he's going to give you what you were looking for in a fighter and in a fight.
Yeah.
Motherfucker going in there to fucking lay it all down.
You're going to bust that nut early. Pause.
Yeah. Moving on to the featured bout of the evening. They got this stupid ass fucking graphic on Tapology in front of my shit, but I know who's going up. We got what is this? What kind of fucking fight is this? Because the fucking stupid. Okay, we got a middleweight bout coming up. We have Edmund Shabazian going up against Andre Petrosky. We got Shabazian coming in 7-5 in the UFC, 14-5 overall, and 3-2 in their last 5 fights. We got Petrosky coming in. They are 8-2 in the UFC, 13-3 overall, and 3-2 in their last 5 bouts. I'm gonna be going with Petrosky in this one by either decision or sub. They're gonna so Shabazian is gonna be the younger and the bigger of the 2 fighters. He's gonna have the edge in the striking department, and the only concern with him that I have is his cardio. And I guess his grappling. He doesn't really have much to offer fucking in the grappling department either. And then that plays into that fucking cardio getting zapped and then him just getting finished. You got Petrosky coming in, the older of the 2 by 7 years, smaller in stature and reach, but he's going to have the edge in that grappling and most likely, as a result, the edge in the cardio as well. So I'm going to be going with Petrosky in this one because I believe that as long as he's able to weather the storm early in the fight, and basically get Shabazian up against the cage or to the ground, it's going to get dark for Shabazian. I mean, Shabazian definitely has good striking technique and does have power in the hands. But I feel like he's kind of like what you were talking about. He does have real UFC tread on him and came into the sport super young. He's still in his 20s, I believe, right now, or maybe just entering his 30s. But literally, has basically took his bumps and bruises on the UFC circuit. So, yeah, he's 27 years old still, but has kind of already started to go through the up and down that comes with like a veteran of this sport. And I think that, although it's given him a wealth of experience at a young age, I think that he may still be on the same trajectory as somebody who is freaking, put their fucking, whole life into this shit because he has got his ass whooped. Like I said, he's 7-5 in the UFC. So he's gotten his ass whooped over the course of 12 fights, and has been chinned, and or just people have literally exposed the fact that he does not have good cardio. So Petrosky, as long as he doesn't go out there and just get fucking flash KO'd or gets caught with something, he should be able to just fight a measured fight, use his striking to find entries for takedowns, and then eventually put Shabazian on his back and then either search for the submission or just control him over the course of 3 rounds. I'm going with Petrosky in this one.
This is a tough fight to pick. Edmund Shabazian was my original pick. I really felt like he was going to be the one to get it done, but you know what I mean. After further deliberation, Petrosky is the guy.
He had a good outing against Dylan Budka in his last fight, but Dylan
Sure.
Budka is not fucking Andre Petrosky.
Absolutely, and I completely agree with that. And like, that's why I can't not go with him. Petrosky's gonna get it done. I put a couple different things together, right? Like Budka has fought both of these gentlemen. They've both won against this gentleman.
Shabazian put him out, but Petrosky
Did not.
did
Petrosky, you know what I mean, took him to the decision.
He
And
may have just played with his food though, too.
and I really feel like that's kind of what happened. And that being said, like it's a tough one. It's a tough one, but I think Petrosky is the winner. I think Petrosky is the one I want. Um, I'm, that's my pick. I'm sorry. That's a bad analysis for you guys, but whatever. That's Petrosky for the win.
For sure, for sure. All right, folks, moving on to the co-main event of the evening. We have a women's flyweight matchup with some, I would say some stakes involved in terms of positioning ranks-wise and potential title contention, maybe 1 or 2 fights down the road. We got Rose Namajunas going up against Miranda Maverick. We got Namajunas coming in. They are 11-6 in the UFC, 13-7 overall, and 3-2 in their last 5 fights. 2-3 in their last 5 fights. We got Maverick coming in. They are 8-3 in the UFC, 15-5 overall, and 4-1 in their last 5 fights. I'm gonna be going with Namajunas in this one by either decision or KO. They're gonna be the older of the fighters by 5 years. Taller, with the edge and with the edge and striking and possibly grappling. Only reason I would say probably not is because I just don't feel like that's something they lean into. I think that they've aligned with being a striker and prefer to try to keep things on the feet as much as possible. But they should still have enough grappling prowess to at least exercise some good takedown defense. And really what, is playing into their favor is that they just have a high level of experience, both just facing stiff competition and, championship level experience as well. You got Maverick, who is younger and slightly longer of the two, but will be shorter in height. She's well-rounded. She's pretty much like, I don't want to say she grew up watching Rose, but she definitely is of the generation somewhat behind Rose, who is in between that up-and-comer and somebody who is kind of, they haven't gotten over the hump yet. So it's like they've shown that, they're a high-level competitor, but I just don't know if they got that killer instinct to be a champion and or, just like, to be honest, I don't know if they're going to be starstruck that they're fighting Rose Namajunas, Like, that could very much play a factor. And I've seen them. They are a soldier. They are a soldier. They're the type who they listen to their coach and freaking they either carry out the instructions or they disappoint the coach and then the coach starts digging into their fucking ass for the whole fight, resulting in them somewhat like losing confidence, and then it just kind of falls off the rails from there. But definitely, like, you would think that she could win this fight just being that, she's youthful, she's probably still evolving and is, coming out the gates well-rounded. But I just don't think she's on the level of Rose Namajunas. Like, Rose Namajunas is well-rounded. Like I said, she leans to the striking, but not only is she technical, but I'm not going to say she's a powerful striker, but she knows how to strike to where she can get you to run into shit, and that shit's going to put you on your pockets. She has grappling, but like I said, I don't think she uses it enough at this rate now to really consider her threatening with it. But she's a fucking champion. I mean, she's winning there with killers, and seemingly looking unassuming, has fucking channeled that killer instinct in her own regard, and has fucking, proven herself as a high level championship competitor. So don't get me wrong, she's kind of thrown me for a loop in some of these last bouts. Some say she may have even won her last bout against Erin Blanchfield. I'm one of those people. And she possibly could have had a better chance at beating Manifil, but she hurt her finger early on. So her run at flyweight hasn't been the greatest, but it's also been somewhat circumstantial, but not so much to the point that I would assume that someone like Miranda Maverick could get the best of her. I think that Rose is still levels and leagues above someone like Miranda Maverick, and is going to prove that this coming Saturday. So I'll be going with Namajunas.
We've got a flyweight bout between two Colorado competitors.
Oh yeah, Colorado on Colorado crime, y'all.
Colorado on Colorado crime. White on white crime. But I'm gonna take the bald-headed chick. I love her. Rose Mama Eunice.
Ooh,
Shouts out to Caleb.
yeah.
She's just the better overall MMA competitor. She's the better overall athlete. She's more skilled, more disciplined, more work ethic, more everything than Miranda Maverick. That's all that needs to be said. All that needs to be done. Now, Rose Mama Eunice. Mama. Anyway, is she's just fucking great at what she does. Sometimes her head isn't in the right space to win. Whatever.
That was the point I was going to bring up. That's the issue. That's the only glaring concern, I guess, with Rose Namajunas, is if she's going to show up dialed in, or if she has something in the back of her mind, or if, even if she has like some type of concern that maybe she isn't as good as she used to be, or maybe these youngins are starting to catch up to her. Like, you definitely don't know which Rose you're going to get sometimes. But after watching the face-offs today, I saw a little girl in Miranda Maverick who was just like, oh shit, I'm fighting Rose. It's very nice. Like, I'm very honored to share the cage with you, blah, blah, blah. And Rose was just like,
I'm gonna murder you.
So I think that, yeah, like Darren said, Rose is a monster, but she is aging as well. But I don't think that that's the factor in this fight. It's her mental that's going to be the thing potentially playing against her. I think skill set wise, even on a bad day, she should still be able to beat fucking Miranda
I'm gonna say
Maverick.
This. The Rose Mama Eunice is a harder worker, a more technical, better striker, better grappler, far more conditioned, more experience in the UFC, has gone to those 5-round fights, is a champion, has been a champion. I'm sorry that Miranda Maverick has never been that and never is going to be that ever, to be in my opinion. She's never going to be a champion.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hard to fight a champion and then get to that point.
No.
So Rose, Mama Unit, Mama. Eunice. You know, whatever. Anyway.
I don't think you got much to draw off of there, but we're just going to leave that alone. Anyway, shout out to my guy Matua.
Fucking lick that bald head, my boy.
Shout out to Matua in the fucking chat, bro. Rose going to thug it out against Maverick. Yep, definitely. Definitely so. And Maverick's got a lot of muscle on her.
Wait.
She does.
I'm going to ask chat, who would lick that bald head, though?
That's wild, cuz. Jesus Louise, bro.
I want to see one.
Let's see here. I think so too. Pat Barry be all in Rose's head. Yeah, no, for sure. Fucking, I think that's probably the only thing too that I'm not the biggest fan of here recently since Rose moved up to the flyweight division and just like recently in her career is the transition from working with Kamaru Usman and Justin Gaethje and Trevor Whitman. You know, in that little small camp that they had there, that little champions camp, I get that sometimes it made for scheduling conflictions and sometimes I think maybe she felt like she was falling to the wayside. But, I mean, she was super better for that time period and that team around her. Her just being dolo with Pat Barry is kind of just like, I feel like it's shown in her performance and stuff like that. But like I said, also there's been circumstances surrounding her recent performances, so I'm not gonna fucking put too much weight into that. But yeah, all in all, Rose, Nama Eunice,
I'll take some of that
Mama
like
Eunice
little,
for the bro.
The little she got that honey shit. You know what I mean? I put a little bit of that honey on her head, like
Wildin', bro. That's fucking wild.
She's a beekeeper. No?
I'd probably.
Yeah, she is, bro.
I'm good, my G.
You mean just throw a little honey on that shit, like. Delicious.
All right, folks. Moving on to the main event of the evening.
That was actually pretty good, bro.
Yeah, I felt it. I felt the projection, bro.
I felt it.
I've been working on my breathing, stuff like that.
Okay.
Anyways, we have a men's welterweight bout on the line with some pretty significant stakes at hand. We got the former champion, Kamaru Usman, making his return after a nice little 2-year layoff. Going up against surging contender, Joaquin Buckley. We got Usman coming in 15-3 in the UFC, 20-4 overall, and 2-3 in their last 5 fights. We got Buckley coming in. They are 11-4 in the UFC, 21-6 overall, and are currently riding a 6-fight win streak. I'm going to be going with the former champ in this one by either decision or KO. I just believe that Usman, who is going to be older by 7 years and the taller of the two fighters and just, I think, bigger in stature overall after looking at this weigh-in today. Buckley's got muscles, but just Usman is the bigger man. That's just what it is. And, he's going to have the edge in the clinch and the grappling. He just has that high-level championship UFC experience that, I think that truly is what's going to take him over the hump in this fight is that experience and just that know-how to get things done over the course of 5 rounds. I think that's something that people need to understand. Okay, if you really look at his last 5 fights, I think, he beat Colby, and then he dropped 2 against Leon, which one of those 2, literally Leon won at the last second with a flash head kick KO, which I can't even put stock into that because it was so just freak that it should have not even happened. There's a universe where that kick did not happen. And then in the next fight, Usman employed this game plan that just was not working. Freaking Leon definitely must have trained and practiced and drilled not, getting taken down by the fence or letting Kamaru Usman lock his hands, because that's literally what the whole fight was Leon fucking breaking fucking Usman's hand grip, and then them having to go back to standing, and Usman just really not having it that night, standing, and whatever. So, I would say that but then you also got his last fight, which was 2 years ago, where he literally got off the couch with like 4 days notice to go overseas to fight Khamzat Chimaev in a fucking weight class above him at middleweight, and took him the full 3 rounds. And really, if that was a 5-round fight, which, that was Usman's first 3-round fight in a long, long time, that, had that been a 5-round fight, I think we all can say that he may have actually turned the tides and would have been able to either finish that fight late or had been able to at least fight to a draw and or potentially steal that 3rd round and then, run off with the last 2. That was all very possible in these last 5 to 6 fights that Usman has been involved in. So we got to understand it's been very circumstantial with him. We got Buckley, who is younger of the two, has the edge in power striking for sure. And is, he's evolving and is getting more measured as a fighter, and realizing that, hard work is just as important as, honing your talents. And, he's on a run. He's been doing really well. And, even so, just being in the welterweight division, he started out as a middleweight and, was knocking dudes out and was just this big ball of muscle, and realized that, once, he started getting up against better competition and dudes that can grapple and stuff like that and wear on those muscles and fucking tire him out, he realized that there were aspects of his game that he's had to, shore up. So don't get me wrong, Joaquin Buckley is literally at the height of his skill set and is performing the best he's ever performed, and is definitely a surging champion, deserving of this opportunity. He called out Usman after he beat Colby Covington, and he is definitely deserving of this opportunity, and has all the personality and all the tools necessary to be a superstar, not only in this division but in the UFC as a whole. I say all that also saying, though, that he was talking about Usman's body language and saying that, after he's seen Usman take a deep breath in their first face-off, that's all he really needed to know, and that he isn't getting the same energy off of Usman that he felt watching him face other guys leading up to this fight. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I see some fucking issues in Buckley's body language. He, to me, looks starstruck by Usman and kind of just like a victim of the moment that he's actually at this point in his career and has this opportunity that I don't know if he's quite dialed in or dialed in the right way that is going to serve him in this bout. I think today, especially after today's face-off, Usman wanted to reassert that, like, whatever you thought, let's throw that out the window. You wanted fucking champion fucking Kamaru Usman, you fucking got him. And he stared a hole through that fool's fucking head. And literally, Buckley was the first to break fucking eye contact. So, for me, I just feel like Kamaru Usman is a victim of just being great. And like I said, like, he was winning an entire fight and literally got a flash head kick in the end that got his title taken away. And then he faced the dude again, had to go to his hometown, overseas, all that shit, probably still compromised and never really fully rehabilitated. And everybody says he has these bad knees and stuff, but like he said, I was whooping niggas' asses on those bad knees long before fucking I started hitting this skid. So fucking You can say what you want. I definitely have more in the tank. He has aspirations to face the winner of JDM and fucking Islam Makhachev, and then wants to, drop the belt and then move up to 185 and face, whoever's the title holder at that time in the middleweight division. So I still feel like he feels like he has a lot to offer still. He's still dialed in, and he's far from done in this fucking in this organization. So I just feel like Kamaru Usman is kind of the same thing with Miranda Maverick and Rose. It's just like Kamaru Usman is going to prove that he's leagues above Joaquin Buckley. And Joaquin Buckley, although a surging contender and somebody who is definitely going to be up there giving people trouble, for years to come, he's not at this level to just fucking, wash a former champion and one of arguably the greatest welterweights of all time in Kamaru Usman. So I'll be going with Usman in this one. Who you got, bro? Wow, okay. Bro's taking a potty break, so we'll be hearing from him shortly. Let me run through some of these comments we got here. Rose way cuter than Miranda. Most definitely. That goes without question. I mean, all due respect to Miranda Maverick, I'm sure she can clean up nice in her own way, and probably appeals to certain folks, but yeah, if we're talking fucking a side by side, yeah, Rose smokes Maverick. Uh, let's see. Numansa Matua definitely is gonna. It sounds like he's going for fucking Buckley in this bout. So salute to you. Bro's back. I think he's gonna give us his pick in this one. So I think he might be sharing some of your same sentiments. But go ahead, bro. Who do you got?
Don't rush me.
Okay, fuck you. I didn't realize Kamaru was taller than Buckley. I like Kamaru's plan if he beats Buckley. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he is definitely the bigger fighter. Like I said, Buckley is muscly and like physique wise. I mean, both these dudes got pretty fucking beastly physiques. Buckley is just a little more fucking, stocky and shorter and stuff. And Usman, is taller and longer, but he fucking got a lot of muscle on him too. So it's like he was just literally the bigger fighter. He just was big. He's looking down at Buckley. Buckley's looking up. I don't know. I think Buckley is realizing like, okay, I'm definitely gonna fucking be going up against fucking the best Kamaru Usman that we've seen in quite some time. Who are you going for?
Let me explain to you something. Like, Kamaru Usman has so much fucking ring rust on him. There's no fucking way he beats Joaquin Buckley. Joaquin Buckley is the best fighter in this particular bout. I wanted to say the weight class, but probably not. We're gonna say it in this bout. Usman is going to, after what, like a 2-year layoff, I believe it is,
Some change, baby,
and some change. He's gonna jump back in there for a 5-round fight. This is what I would do if I was Joaquin Buckley. If I'm Joaquin Buckley, what do? I'll let you fucking punch your little dumb ass out for the first round. Go ahead and enjoy yourself. Cool. Second round. Now I've got you filled out. You know what I mean? I've got your timing going on. Cool. Third round. Now I start whipping your ass. Fourth round. Whip your ass some more. Fifth round. Now you're fucking tired because you haven't fought a 5-round fight in fucking almost 3 years. 2 years at least, but close to 3. Boom. Now I win the fight. Game over. Call it a fucking day. Joaquin Buckley for the win.
I mean, that's a great assessment. I like that. That's almost what he did in the Colby fight. That's kind of basically how he did Colby Covington in his last time out. But this is what I'm gonna say. First off, Usman washed fucking Kobe Covington fucking twice. Like,
How
and
long
it
ago?
wasn't even fucking
How long
a
ago?
while back, but it was literally,
long?
it was when Kobe Covington was at his best. So he actually washed a way better version of Covington than fucking Buckley did. So let's just get that fucking out the way first. Second
Okay,
of
let
all,
me just say this, okay? You seem a little angry. You seem a little agitated.
Not
But just
angry.
know, we've gone even on all these fights except for this one, okay? So like, is that what you're doing? You're like saving up all your little fucking like little craziness for like one fight because you realize it's only one that's like probably a problem
I
for you?
just I just think that you're overlooking Usman. Just do if literally if the biggest thing that concerns you about Usman is just the layoff, then I just think that you're fucking kind of you're complacent in the fact that fucking he's still like an ill fucking like champion that like literally has faced nothing.
Was.
He faced interim champions, and literally due to her vying for championships just in his last 5 fights. Buckley has just been running the table in the fucking like through the
To
rankings.
get to there, right.
This is
Usman,
his
you're
first
right.
real challenge, bro.
Usman has been fighting fucking dogs, been fighting fucking absolute monsters. I get that. But he hasn't always been winning, first of all. Second of all, fucking we're talking about ring rust, bro. Ring rust is a real thing.
Bro, he's 20-4, and only 3 of those fucking defeats have came in his last 5 fights. Just recently.
That's a big thing.
One of them's freak. So if you take away the head kick from fucking Leon Edwards, then he's fucking 21-3 right now. Because we all know he won that fucking fight. That shit literally came in the last minute of the fucking 5th round of that fight, bro.
Okay.
That fucking fight was dog water the entire time. It wasn't exciting. It was fucking lame as fuck, but still, like, Usman got it done. And then fucking Leon Edwards had a chance then to just realize everything that got him to the point where the only thing that fucking got him fucking over the hump was a fucking flash KO because Usman was like, I'm in the last minute. Like, I shouldn't really have to fucking, and that's on him. He should have kept his guard up the entire fucking time.
Real shit.
But in the next bout, I'll give that to Leon Edwards. He was able to break the grip and just kind of keep things to a point fight, and he got the best of Usman in that one. But then after that, he got off the couch on 4 days' notice, packed on fucking 10 extra pounds, and fucking took Hamzat, who everybody fucking says is this fucking this anomaly of a fucking fighter, and fucking took him for 3 rounds, where in that 3rd round, he started turning the tides that everybody who watched that fight feels like had it had 2 more rounds, he may have fucking got that fool.
But
and that was on a 4-day fucking notice, bro.
But he didn't have 2 more rounds, and he knew better. Come on, my boy. Like,
bro, he's a 5-round fighter too. Like, Joaquin Buckley just fought his first 5-round fight in his last fight.
Well, he still has
fucking Usman that's what he is a 5-round fighter.
We'll see, my boy.
And I think that's going to be the determining factor.
Okay. This is what we're going to do, okay? I'm tired of fucking talking about this fight that I know I'm going to win. Because, like, as far as the last bout went, right, I won, right? Like, I know what the fuck's going to happen. Obviously, I'm the guy, right?
Keep living off of
Obviously,
that old shit.
It's not old shit. It's literally the most recent thing that's happened.
Okay.
So, obviously, I'm the guy, right? Mm-hmm. So, I guess I'm going to fucking... I got the channel. Don't trip. Hey, guys. We're going to talk about parlays now. You want to go ahead and put your parlay in there, Cam?
Do you even have any? Or are you going to
I do.
Are you going to intro this shit and then pass it to me so that I can fucking fill the time in while parlays. You actually make a fucking parlay?
I already have one. I already have it.
You introed it. Fucking tell me some parlays. Fucking parlay boy.
What the fuck is that? Parlay boy? What the fuck is a boy?
Boy. Like, boy. The parlay boy.
You fucking from Louisiana or something now? Like, it's fucking weird. Anyway. You know what it is. RayBuck is motherfucking the parlay god.
Okay.
parlay make shit happen. My first parlay, or my only parlay, to be honest with you, I've got a 3-pick parlay. It's the only parlay, and it's the only parlay I'm going to do. It's going to be Jamie Lynn Horth, Losa, and Simone.
Nice.
Quick. It's going to be real quick. Boom. It's right there at the very beginning of the card. You're going to know what you're going to do either way.
Nice.
What are you going to do?
Well, I got a base 3 to start with. So my base 3 is going to be Simone, Chiaza, and Bellato to start. Then I'm going to spice things up. I'm going to add a spicy Barcelos on top of that.
Okay.
And then I'm going to add an extra spicy Andre Petrosky on top of that.
Okay.
And then if you're looking to shit your pants on the night, needed some sound effects for that. But anyway, then you can throw a fucking...
It was like, the fucking couch. Go ahead.
You can throw a Bubble Guts Usman on top of that, being that he's the underdog in this bout.
Hilarious.
You know? And you can maximize your funds with that. So we got a base 3. You can, go 1 by 1, make it a 4 or 5, or you can go for the full fucking 6, but that's what I got for my parlays right now.
If you're gonna shit your pants.
Real quick, let's get into some of these comments real quick. Let's see, Darren, I don't know, I got a weak stomach. I want a Michael Jordan palm that scalp.
Yeah, bruh. I mean, I feel it. I feel it.
Back to the Rose portion of this, where
Rose.
bro asked if
Mama
anybody
Eunice.
in the chat would pour some honey on her bald head and lick it off, which is fucking crazy,
She makes honey.
bro. That is fucking
So I would
crazy.
lick it off of her bald head. Her own honey. I think she might like that shit.
That sounds fucking wild. The homie,
You should sell that shit.
The homie Level the Vibes commented, Usman gonna big bro Buckley. That's how I feel. I'm telling you, bro. Did you watch the face-offs? Have you seen any of them
Yes, I
face-offs?
saw all that stupid shit.
And you're not gonna tell me that fool didn't look like fucking Buckley's older brother, or like the bouncer fucking ready to tell Buckley to fucking
what are we doing?
keep it pushing?
Oh, I'm not nah, bro. I'm good.
Okay.
Go ahead. What we got?
Another comment from Level the Vibes. That KO on Thompson was sick prime Mike Tyson shit. Yeah. No, I mean, Buckley is a highlight fucking reel for sure. Like, and that's what UFC hopes to see this weekend. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, if he gets a win and a decision victory over Usman, it's still good because it shows like, okay, we got a fighter that is evolving and is now starting to become, well-rounded on all levels, at a high level and on a championship level. Like, we got something special here. But yeah, like, what really got him to the show is that fucking ninja fucking back kick fucking that dude's grill. The way he fucking KO'd Jordan Wright, and fucking, yeah, that Stephen Thompson KO was a nice reminder after a nice little stint of him having to like hone his skills, get a little more measured and be a little less exciting, and took in some L's, which prompted him to try and, start, rounding out his skill set. So like he's definitely fucking primetime must-see television, but I just think in this bout, it's gonna be that fucking just that level above that's gonna,
Chat, listen
humble
here.
him a little bit.
This is Cameron being fucking nostalgic. This is nostalgic shit. You're being nostalgic, my boy.
Okay. You want to say I'm being nostalgic with it?
Yep.
That's wild.
This is a little nostalgic shit. You know what I mean? It's
wild, bro. Let's see. Darren said, muscles take a lot of oxygen. If Buckley don't blow his wad, I think he has a good chance of winning. Usman's fights can get boring when all he does is try to wrestle. I mean, yeah, with Buckley, one thing that he showed in his last fight against Covington is that he does have some staying power. Like, he was able to fight that full 5 rounds and was still fresh. coming off the stool, entering that final round, and was able to basically dominate Covington the entire time. So
Cam, is Usman gonna step off the stool the same way that Buck and Buckley did?
yeah, because this is the difference. Covington failed round over round at getting takedowns. So Buckley was getting better and better as the fight went on because he was superior over Covington from a grappling standpoint. I don't think he's superior than Usman from a grappling standpoint. So he's going to actually start to see what it feels like to have a good wrestler fucking wear on you for 5 rounds.
I'm sorry, bro. But Colby Covington, I don't like this motherfucker, but he's a good wrestler, bro.
He is, but he didn't get no grappling going. He got stuffed every fucking round.
I'm not saying he didn't.
And he doesn't have hands like that. He has point hands, he'll touch you just enough for the ref to be like, well, I have to count that. Well, I have to count that. Well, I have to count that. But he ain't fucking knocking no one the fuck out unless he tires them out and they just can't defend themselves. Mm-hmm. So, it's a different, Usman knocked his ass out and then fucking, literally just owned him for fucking 5 rounds in 2 fights.
All right. Well, I'm just saying. I've said what I've said. You've said what you've said.
Let's see here. Buckley doesn't have, this is level the vibes. Buckley doesn't have stamina issues and Usman has multiple banger fights.
Yeah. Those are both true statements.
Yeah, I said,
that's
Buckley proved in his last fight that he does have stamina. Something that people were questioning going into that fight, especially against a cardio machine like Colby Covington. And yeah, Usman, I think people forget that he has that jab from hell. And it's almost a jab that kind of supersedes any sort of type of, striking prowess that you got because it's so technical and it's so fucking crisp and it's so good that you just can't get around it. And that's something that Usman added to his game. He was mostly just a wrestler primarily and then started to get known for his striking. I wouldn't say it's like this fucking flashy sort of type of striking, but it gets the job done. So, both things can be true, and in this case, level of vibes, you have 2 true statements here. Let's move on. Let's see, we got Matua. For a muscular fighter, Buckley's cardio looked good against Colby. Yep, we just touched on that. And I think that was a proving factor that got him this fight with Usman when he called him out, is that, okay, I think that was the test. That was the reason that he was even put up against Colby Covington, because the matchmakers wanted to see, is this something that can be exploited on him, or has he been able to fucking shore this up and now, can take it to that next level, because that's what you need to get past a dude like Covington, let alone then be able to start to step on the doorstep of a dude like Usman and then enter into that title contention. So
I don't give a fuck. Usman hasn't fought in 2 years, bro.
And that's all you're going off of.
It doesn't matter, bro. That's a big thing. You gotta whip an ass.
Okay, but that's the thing. Do you want him to be like fucking Cody Garbrandt, always fucking compromised coming into a fight? Or do you want the dude to actually finally fucking come in somewhat close to 100% of himself, and potentially that compensates for that lack of fucking time in the ring because he's fucking just, oh, this nigga's the motherfucker now.
No, I don't want him to be Cody Garbrandt, because Cody Garbrandt works too hard. He works too hard in training. I want him to be the person that's always been training. I want him to be GSP.
Nigga, the nigga went on a 16-fight win streak. You realize that, right? Nigga had 7, or nigga had 5 fucking title fucking.
Come on, Pamp.
Let's see, he defended his title, I think, against fucking Woodley. Did he defend it after he won it against Woodley? I'm not sure. I don't fucking remember, but but after he beat Woodley, he beat fucking Colby twice. and Masvidal a couple times as well. He had like 4 title defenses in the midst of a 16-fight win streak, bro.
Sure.
I just don't think you're giving the man his respect, bro.
I give him respect.
Matua said exactly, Usman's knees have never failed him in a fight. He became a champion and defended his title on bad knees. Now he's coming back with at least better than they were before knees. And fucking and just overall fucking health. You think that everything just goes out the window with a little bit of time away from the sport?
Fuck yes. It's ring rust. It's called ring rust. There's literally a name for that shit.
Dominic Cruz said there's no such thing as ring rust.
That's bullshit. Well, Dominic Cruz, what's he doing?
He's retired now.
Yeah, I bet. He's got some ring rust.
And see level the vibes. Fucking some laughing emotes. We must have fucking said something wild. If Usman had bigger legs, he'd have the best physique in UFC. I mean, yeah, it's probably fucking.
Pause.
He does have some fucking. I think all these cats got chicken legs. Freaking, I think Buckley has some pretty chicken legs. I want to say the only guy with some fucking like crazy fucking like linebacker, running back style type legs fucking is Alonzo Manifil. Alonzo Manifil is fucking huge.
Okay, so
bro.
there's I know a little bit about like bodybuilding and shit like that. Mm-hmm. Most black people, you know what I mean? We have fast twitch muscles. So we don't grow big forearms and we don't grow big calves. It's one of the biggest things. Like, so if you ever like look at a bodybuilder, like even like Ronnie Coleman, like he had big calves, but like he literally was like, I had to like fucking crush my calves to get him that size. Mm-hmm. Because fast twitch muscles are the forearms and the calves, and so you gotta like crush those shits to make them big.
Okay. Level the vibes did say no Diddy on the physique assessment.
Yeah, just saying though, it's a real thing though. Like there are like what's up?
Oh, Matua said ring rust don't exist either.
Matua, hey bro, I like you, bro, but not right now, cause like you're full of shit. Tuck that shit in your pocket, my boy.
Finish what you were saying though.
Anyway, yeah,
Fast twitch muscles.
Fast twitch muscles. So like, that's why you generally see as people from black people are leaner than most other people, because we literally just build fast twitch muscles versus like slow twitch muscles, and so that's what Europeans build slow twitch muscles. Versely. And then there's also a thing with like Mexicans, because they like actually build both of those pretty well, kind of like in a medium state, and that's why there's been way more Mexican fighters that have held a crown, or like Mexican boxers that have held a crown, because they have a very good mix of that.
Okay.
So, you know what I mean? There's like little, I just know little stupid things, you know what I mean, about things like that, you know what I mean?
Well, I appreciate the education. That was informative, my man.
I just say
Appreciate
shit.
that. I've never heard that before, so that's what's up.
It's real shit, yeah. Like Mexican fighters, they have like a very like a perfect fucking like mixture of that shit.
Okay.
So that's why you got like a, what is it? I think it's Cesar Chavez, and I might be wrong. And if somebody wants to call me out on it, go ahead. He's
Roberto
like 80.
Duran?
No, Cesar Chavez.
Okay.
Or something along those lines. Anyway, he's like 82-10. Like fought crazy amount of fights because he was able to just do that because the muscle fibers were the right way.